Guys, all right, so we're going to do the second problem on the free response practice 1 worksheet. So looking at that, we have a chart that kind of goes along with that. So I'm going to do kind of the work behind it, and then you just reference the chart that you have. All right, so we're going to write an equation for the line tangent to the graph of k at x equals 3. So for an equation of line tangent, we need two things. First thing is the point, second thing is the slope. So my point is going to be 3 comma, and then I plug 3 into this. So it's going to be k of 3 equals f of g of 3. All right, so we take the inside first. G of 3 is equal to 6 on our sheet. And then we do f of 6. So f of 6 on our sheet is 4. So k of 3 is equal to 4. So 3 comma 4 is my point. All right, so that's part 1. Point and slope. When we think slope, I think derivative. AP Calc, woohoo. All right, so we do the derivative, k prime of x equals, now this is a chain rule because it's a function inside of a function. So we're going to take the derivative of the outside. We keep the inside the same. Then we multiply it by the derivative of the inside, so g prime of x. All right, so once we have that, we then go ahead and we plug in the point that we want. So we want the derivative at 3, so I can get what the slope is at 3. So f prime of g of 3 times g prime of 3. All right, so we're going to multiply f prime of, now g of 3, if we look at our chart, g of 3 is 6, times g prime of 3, which is 2. So k prime of 3 equals f prime of 6 times 2. So now we have to find f prime of 6, which is 5, times 2. So k prime of 3 is going to equal 5 times 2, so my slope is 10. So y minus 4 equals 10, x minus 3. There's my equation for the line tangent at x equals 3. All right, for the next one, we are finding h prime of 1. So we've got g of x divided by f of x. So in order to find the derivative h prime of x, we're going to need to use the quotient rule. So u is g of x, v is f of x, u prime is going to equal g prime of x, v prime is going to equal f prime of x. So the quotient rule is u prime v, so g prime of x times f of x minus uv prime, g of x times f prime of x, all over v squared. So f of x squared. All right, so now that's my equation for the derivative. I want to find the derivative at 1, so I'm going to plug in 1 to all these. H prime of 1 equals g prime of 1 times f of 1 minus g of 1 times f prime of 1 all over f of 1 squared. All right, so g prime of 1 is 8 times f of 1 is negative 6 minus g of 1 is 2, f prime of 1 is 3, all over f of 1, which is negative 6, squared. So we're going to just simplify that a little bit. So we got negative 48 minus 6 all over 36. All right, so we could actually, if this was AP Calc, we could just box that in because that's the final answer. I could have boxed that in right there without even worrying about that. All right, so for the next one, we've got f double prime of 2x dx, and we're taking the integral of that. So we've got a function inside of a function, so I have to do u. Substitution, u is equal to 2x. So I plug that in, so we get f double prime of u. And then I still have this dx, so I have to find what dx is. So du dx equals 2. Du is equal to 2dx. So dx is equal to, when I divide by 2, 1/2 du. So I'm going to do 1/2 du. So now my bounds are in terms of x, so if I plug that in here, 2 times 1, that's 2, and then 2 times 3, that's 6. So now I'm going to do the antiderivative, the integral. So 1/2 is a coefficient, so that's going to stay out in front. And now the antiderivative of f double prime is going to be f prime of u. And then we evaluate that from 2 to 6 because we have those new u bounds. So it's going to be 1/2 f prime of my top bound, which is 6, minus 1/2 f prime of my lower bound, which is 2. All right, so we've got f prime of 6 is 5. So 1/2 times 5 minus 1/2 times f prime of 2, which is -2. So we've got 5 over 2 plus 1, because we've got -1/2 times a -2. That's going to be +1. All right, so we've got 7 over 2. Final answer. All right, and that's it for that one.